Hi, I'm AJ. Welcome to a yet untitled cocktail show about how to make cocktails and drinking them. I am not a bartender. I have never had a job in a bar. I think probably pizza delivery guy or maybe karate instructor would be the closest job I ever had to a bartender. So let me know in the comments below what you think a good name for a drinking show would be. This is kind of like a test pilot. We're going to be starting you off today with an original drink that I came up with. It's a twist on a Manhattan. Now, a Manhattan is pretty easy to remember. 2 parts whiskey, usually rye or bourbon. 1 part sweetener, and 2 dashes of bitters. 212. 212 also happens to be the area code for Manhattan, so that's an easy way to remember it. In future episodes, this will get a bit fancier. Right now, we're just in my kitchen, and it's being recorded on a cell phone that is sitting on top of a pint glass, being held in place between a bottle opener and a long plastic spoon. Yep, I'm classy like that. Anyway, let's get into it. I am super into spicy foods, and I've always described spicy foods, like when I make them, as being angry. I think this came from like an old Burger King ad. They had the Angry Whopper, and it was spicy, and it had a guy yelling at the onion rings out in the field. The farmer yelling at the onions that were going to be turned into onion rings to make it an angry thing. So I've always called my spicy foods angry, whatever. Angry mac and cheese. It's fun. And I love spicy things. So this is going to be a little bit of a spicy one. So on this, I'm calling it the Maddercorn. Get it? Like angry, mad, madder, more angry, corn. Instead of Matterhorn, the mountain in Europe? No? Alright, anyway, I tried. So, this is going to be based upon a corn whiskey, specifically mellow corn, and this drink will straight up not be mellow. Now, the thing with corn whiskey is, to be called a corn whiskey, its grain bill has to be at least 80% corn. And this is 100 proof, so it's a little more alcoholic than your standard whiskey. So instead of doing a regular 2 ounce or a 60 ml pour of my corn whiskey, I'm going to do a 1.5 45 ml pour of corn whiskey and a ½ ounce pour of this Chadwick's Reaper's Revenge spicy cinnamon liqueur, made here in central Maine, in Pittsfield actually. So it's pretty close to where I'm from. You don't need to have any fancy ingredients to be able to make, or any fancy equipment to be able to make cocktails. The fanciest thing I'm using today is my Hawthorne strainer. So we're going to build this right in the glass. There's my glass. I don't even have a proper jigger. I'm using a measuring glass. So I'm going to add some ice to the glass. Just going to build this in a rocks glass. Stir, and then strain into another rocks glass. The stirring with ice is important to chill it and get a little bit of dissolution. Put that back in the freezer. So I'm going to start with our corn whiskey. Now, the corn whiskey does have a, if you've ever had like a corn cereal, like Corn Pops, or I guess that was kind of a bad one, but anything like Corn Flakes, it has a taste very similar to that, except it'll get you drunk because it's 100 proof. So we're going to go for that 1.5 ounce or 45 ml pour. A lot of those cocktail YouTube channels, they pour in slow motion. I don't have slow motion in the budget yet. That's coming, but there we go. 1.5 ounces of the corn whiskey in the glass. This stuff is really cheap. This was $15 for a 750 ml bottle of 100 proof liquor. That's a pretty awesome deal. Now we're going to go for a ½ ounce or 15 mils of my Chadwick's Reaper's Revenge cinnamon liqueur. ½ ounce or 15 mils in the glass. Common bar practice is to start with the least expensive ingredient and then go to the most. By ounce, the corn whiskey was handily the least expensive, followed by the Chadwicks, and now actually the bitters that I'm going to use. This is Fee Brothers Aztec chocolate bitters. It actually has a little bit of a pepper in it, so you get a little bit of a spicy chocolate taste from this, which is really nice. I'm going to go 3 dashes. A dash is a really imprecise measurement. It's kind of a to taste type thing. And then the last ingredient, my sweetener. I was so prepared I didn't even bring a spoon over. My final ingredient, other than the garnish, is from Bushwick Kitchen. It's Tree's Knees Spicy Maple Syrup. I love maple syrup in a Manhattan, and this spicy one here is really nice. It has exactly 2 ingredients: organic maple syrup and habanero. Simple, simple food. So I'm going to use what would be about a bar spoon worth of this. Again, it's a bar spoon is also a pretty imprecise measurement. You don't want too much or it'll make it too sweet. But I want to have just a little bit more than you normally would to get that nice habanero kick. And I think with the corn whiskey, I'm going to need that just a little bit sweeter. So stir it up. Strain. I love the color on this. And I am going to garnish this with a jalapeno straight out of my parents' garden. Now, I'm going to give it a little bit of a squeeze because I want to get just a little bit more of that spiciness so I get my madder corn, get the madder portion, the angry portion. Garnish, and let's give it a taste. Right up front, you can really get that pepper taste from the jalapeno. It's right in the nose. It's impossible to avoid. You get a little bit of spice through it, a little bit of a corny, mealy type taste. It's so hard to describe. If you've never had corn whiskey, it's like trying to describe the taste of corn whiskey other than it tastes like cornflakes that get you drunk is kind of analogous to like trying to tell somebody how to ride a unicycle without them actually trying it. You do get some of that smoky habanero taste from that Tree's Knees spicy maple. Big shout out to this. This is fast become one of my favorite mixing ingredients. I'm going to be putting this on pancakes one day. Let's give this another taste. I feel like it could use just a little bit more of the bitters. I'm actually going to hit it once with some Angostura aromatic bitters. Make it a little bit more bitter. That'll play well with the spice coming from the habanero maple, from the cinnamon liqueur, and of course from the jalapeno. Let's give it another taste. Oh yeah, much better. That balances out some of the sweetness from the maple. I may have overshot the maple. Maybe that's why I had to hit it with more bitters. But oh man, this is nice. This is the type of drink that I think I would want if I were coming home from a long day's work of being a lumberjack in like the northern Canadian wilderness during winter. So it's just cold, and this just warms you right up all the way through, and it has a really pleasant taste. Really long evolution on that. Hits all the notes that you'd want. You get the whiskey taste. Definitely a lot of spice in there. You get some aromatics from the bitters, which is really quite nice. You get the sweetness from the maple. This is MCU version of Thanos would be pretty proud of this, because this feels like a pretty well balanced drink. All right, well there we go. An AJ original, the Maddercorn. Cheers.